So, I'd like some help and some information with an aspect of this that I don't have any understanding or clarity in. I'd like you to talk about how it is and what's involved and who's involved with the decision that our inner being makes about when and where and why we choose to focus a bit of ourselves in this reality.
Well, when you were non-physically focused, there was no split energy. So the who was you, but it was the you, the non-physical you. It was your evolved perspective and your desire as a creator to be in the best environment that is conducive to creation.
I get that. I'm interested and intrigued into what goes into that decision. Why this body? Why not somebody else's body?
Because the intention that you held, we're going to tell you this quick story. When Esther sat to receive us for the first time, so she'd been encouraged by someone else to meditate. She didn't know what it meant. Quiet your mind, sit in a quiet room, wear comfortable clothing, focus on your breathing, and when your mind wanders as it will, release the thought. So Esther sat with Jerry for 9 months every day for 15 or 20 minutes and breathed, which was what she focused upon to help her release thought. And in the process, early on during that 9 months, she connected with us enough that she was receiving our thoughts. She didn't know they were our thoughts. She thought they were her thoughts because they were being translated from a vibration into a thought. And the thoughts sounded like her language and felt familiar to her as she was translating them. So it took a while for us to help her to realize that she was receiving something that was beyond her thought process. So her first translation, once she allowed us to move her head, she wouldn't allow us to translate into words because she believed that that was her words. But she was allowing movement, so we were moving her head like she was writing on a chalkboard. And we said, I am Abraham. Well, we were translating, we are Abraham. But she couldn't translate we because her belief system was that she was reaching for something that was singular. And so, I am Abraham. Why Abraham? Why was Abraham the label? Not because it is a name of someone who lived that we represent in any specific way, but because it was the best label that Esther could find in her non-religious understanding of things that translated into who we are. It was just the best label that represented the whole of what we are. And so that's the part that we want you to hear from us. This physical human beingness was the best, and we don't just mean sort of kind of good. We mean the perfect vehicle that represented the intentions that you held as you were making the intention to come forth into this physical experience. And it would take longer than this physical lifetime to fill you in on all the details of that.
And I'm sure this is unanswerable, or how long is a piece of string?
Did the last question feel unanswered?
No.
Then this is not unanswerable.
Okay. Other than alignment, is there another way for me to contact not only my higher self, inner being,
No.
but also...
You have to align. You have to be in the vibrational vicinity. You can't set your radio dial at 101 AM and hear what's being broadcast on 97 FM.
I'm intrigued about trying to reach other aspects of where my consciousness has split off.
Why?
I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I think it would be fun. I think it would be interesting. I think I could learn from it.
Ask that question with more detail then. Here's what we're seeing. You are in this physical body precisely as you intended to be.
Right?
And in this physical body, you've created a vibrational reality that your inner being is so excited about because it represents everything you intended when you made the decision to come forth into this physical body.
Right?
And now you want something other than that?
No. now I'm interested to know whether or not there are other universes, realms, other parts of my consciousness that have chosen other bodies or beings.
But that contradicts the very thing that we were just talking about. Your question was, so who made the decision? And we said your inner being did. So the decision was this body, this time, this space, this planet. So that's the intention that is in your vortex. And you're saying, but what about other planets? What about other times and other bodies and other places? And we say, of course, you have the right to think about anything. But you started out by asking us about pre-birth intentions. And doesn't it feel logical that pre-birth intentions would be really a dominant factor in your vortex? And doesn't it feel logical that things you picked up along your physical trail would be really dominant in this vortex? And don't you want to follow the vibrational calling of what's in your vortex? Curiosity is one thing. Powerful intention to return to the wholeness of who I am, not just was, but who I've become. Does that feel bigger?
Yes.
Yeah. So, of course we want you to satisfy your curiosity, but don't be surprised if your inner being is not that interested in the subject.
Okay.
And so you won't find a lot of alignment with that. You can find alignment with a lot of other people, conspiracy theorists, and people that are not that actively involved in the deliberate evolution of their own life experience. Everything is possible. But what we want you to feel is the intensity of the alignment that you feel when you hook up with the interest of your inner being. If you want zest for life, then you want to be a vibrational match to what your inner being is offering a vibration about. For these reasons, do you recall us saying that your inner being never looks back and is always looking forward?
Yep.
Your inner being is looking forward in the direction of the things that you have set into motion. Your inner being is not distracted by other things. And of course you can be. But when you tune to the fullness of your inner being, we promise you, there is enough satisfaction in those intentions. There just is enough. There is enough. Everything is about your alignment with the whole of who you are. And here's a sort of not great, but thought-provoking example. You set forth an intention to have a lovely day. And you've been tuned in, turned on, and you've been following your impulse. And you are sitting in this place with people that are lovely to be with, and there is delicious food here, and you are slowly and sensitively and in a conscious way focused upon the positive aspects of this now moment, as is your inner being. Your inner being knows the vitality in this food and the benefit that it is to you. And when you're tuned in, you know it too, and you feel an eagerness for it. Your inner being cares about your satisfaction and joy factor. You being satisfied is of highest priority to your inner being. And so you're focused with your inner being, and the satisfaction factor is sublime. So you're wide open, and this delicious nutrition is being allowed because of the thought that you are thinking by the cells of your body who have been requesting it long before you sat down here. And in your decided appreciation, you're open to the benefit at so many levels of your being we can't even begin to describe it. As compared to one who's sitting there wondering where else they could have eaten. What other things people are eating somewhere else? Did I make the right decision about being here right now? Can you sort of feel the analogy? When you focus in your now, with your inner being who's focused in your now, the fantasticness of this moment of time is indescribable. And then again, split energy is split energy, you see. Helpful?
Yes. Thank you.
Enough?
Yep.
We've rendezvoused with the end of the time. We've enjoyed this leading edge, taking thought beyond that which it has been before conversation.
Yes.
Our favorite part of Everything that happened in this day is the evolution of your relationship with your vortex and with your inner being. And we are eager about your conscious awareness and reflection as things unfold, about the shift that took place vibrationally and the manifestation that is certain. When we say to you, there is great love here for you, sometimes you miss our point. What we are saying to you is there is great acknowledgement for the value that you add to the expansion of this universe and the appreciation that we feel as we've come full circle to the intention that you set forth when you decided to come is a satisfaction that non-physical can feel in ways that you often do not. So if you can feel a little piece of the appreciation that we feel for this expanding universe that you are primarily responsible for, then our work for this day is complete. There is great love here.
Grand Rising. Oh my goodness. Grand Rising is a whole nother day. Wednesday, February the 2nd, 2022. I'm truly honored to see today. I am in the process of recalibrating my entire life. I hope you are sleeping well if you're on the West Coast. On the East Coast, it is exactly 5:55 a.m. I'm proud of myself. I hit my goal this morning. And the only reason why I hit this goal is because my sleep was interrupted about 2 hours ago. My daughter's blood was setting her blood monitor off. I woke up to about 15 notifications. So I banged on the wall. I said, Gina, get up. You have to take something. You have to take your medicine. So that was 3:30, and she only took a correction. She's going to need her 24-hour medicine. Yeah, her high blood broke at 4:13. And 45 minutes ago, her monitor, the app that I use to follow the device that sits in her tissue through a needle, she wears a monitor. We have been having issues with it lately. So another reason why I'm glad that I homeschool. It is so much I can't even, I would have to do a separate live on the policies and the regulations in the public schools that actually contradict the health care to children. Some are very hard to explain for someone who doesn't know, the ins and outs of this stuff. And like one case is just mathematics. In North Carolina, Johnston County, they only had a nurse for 2 days out of a 5-day school week. Me not really knowing what's going on here. It's amazing how long I lived here in danger, not really remembering anything but what I was told moment by moment. And for all my life, I believed in everything I was taught, everything I was told, everyone that I grew up around, I believed in them. And it has a resistance. There's a resistance to the fact that I was misled on so much. Misled on so many things that, as abnormal as it may seem for older generations to see children and youth as they did, This is why we are the way we are today. If you're part of something, you are a member of something, a situation, people, places, and things. If you are a part of something, it is always in your best interest to know and be knowledgeable. Not just to know, but to be knowledgeable, like able to act on what you know. You have to be knowledgeable on what you're involved in, what is attached to your energy, what is attached to your inner being. Honey, I had an inner being. I think I took my inner being hostage. I kidnapped that person and I put something around their mouth so they would be quiet. I honestly have been, I get the best sleep now. If a lot of people, I wish you could just be in my being to see what I have seen and gone through what I have gone through. My dreams, if you didn't live with me before, you would not believe me. It is strange. I used to didn't believe it, but I believe it all fully now that I can look back for so long and see patterns, dreams, messages. I've even had people acting out like in my sleep and I'm responding. I sleepwalk, I have sleep talked, sleep fighting, sleep running. And I'm like, why are these dreams happening? Like I never understood what in the world was I even doing with these dreams and these images and these, and it's something to carry. It was confusing. I drank a lot. I drank a lot in my early development as a as a child. As a child, by the time I was 16, I was a alcoholic. Up until it's been a while now. It's been a while. It's been years. But from younger than my daughter, like 11, 10, 12, definitely 12. And I'm starting to process a lot going through this book. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been through a lot. I'm not complaining. I'm stating facts because to understand me is to know that girl been through something. I made a post on Facebook this morning because I'm just grateful that now I'm starting to remember. Because I live in an apartment in New York. Like, what are they doing banging at 6 o'clock in the morning? Seriously, forgive them. I've just been breaking down this book, breaking down the scenes, and I need to tell this story from a place of power, which is a little difficult for me because during the bulk of this story, I didn't remember my own power. I only had the power that I let others tell me I had. And I'm not gonna lie, child development is important because I'm not saying I'm a scientist or anything, but I have done a mental comparison, I'm gonna say, between myself and the structure I had growing up. This is not a critique on the person that raised me at all. This is a critique on my life. This actually has absolutely nothing to do with her. Her goal was she wanted a baby. She was older. She wanted a baby before she left this earth. I respect that. She could have got any baby in the world. She could have got any baby in the world. I will never take that away from my adopted mom. Because to go through the lengths that she went to get me, there's no doubt in my mind that she um, was fulfilling a want. But the only thing with that, when it gets to me in my adult life, as she's gone on, she died when I was 25. She died when my baby was 3 months. That's a whole nother vibe too. There's so many things I want to go back and redo, which is a waste of my energy to even you have those thoughts. Like I'm really learning here. I'm really learning how to maintain on a balanced level. I always maintained, but I was imbalanced. I was confused. I was lost. I was trying to fit in anywhere I could. And that part hurts. But some of us adopted children, this is what we go through when we don't have a smooth transition. So I'm taking a process of remembering. And I don't mean remembering in the sense of looking back at the past. I mean remembering with a hyphen in it. Like everything that made me before me now in my knowing frequency. This is a frequency I've never experienced before. And as a person labeled Negro and Black from Philadelphia, who has a bill, like a real bill, undisputed, uncontested, telling me that I was named Negro, because when I say I mean me and my people before me, because I represent them. I'm a living representation of these people, whether I know them or not. It's irrelevant. I'm sorry, being Black here, Negro to all these other names is excruciating. It is excruciating. I got anxiety. Like, it is excruciating having this political, legal status. And Philadelphians, who honestly, that's my mother's side. I will always claim Philadelphia for the life of me, for the death of me. Always Philly, period, all day, all day, all day. Philly and Virginia is where my roots are, and it's so amazing. That's where I was. I left home, and that's where I was. So when I say remembering, like I could sit here and tell you some stories that would make you unsubscribe and block me because you would be traumatized and need therapy. I don't mean that type of remembering, regurgitating shit that hurts, shit that almost killed me. No, I'm not talking about that kind of remembering. In my narrative, KNARRATIVE, narrative. Um, in narrative, I was given a scholarship. I'm so proud of the opportunity that I was given. Seriously. It is such a beautiful space when you can have space to grow, to know, to know things that we need to know. Narrative is something I utilize. You can buy a membership. I think you pay monthly or yearly. I was gifted a yearly scholarship, and I take advantage of it every chance that I get, from food, cooking, herbs, taking care of my body because I'm a human being and I want to live, um, to historical figures from an Africanist lens. Even though I'm a little thrown off by why we the people, I'm gonna leave that alone. That's a whole other lie. I'm not even gonna say it and put it out there. Anyway, I'm in narrative, and I'm learning from a non-European lens. I went to an all-white high school. This is what they called it. But I was like, well, how is this all-white high school? And we're here like little pieces of pepper in here. But they called it an all-white high school when I was growing up. Maybe when I started going there, they were just moving. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. My mom never talked to me about this place. She just always wondered when I snuck out, it would be at the club. She's like, you don't be scared out there in the dark. And I'm looking at her like, you a grown woman. Why are you saying that today? Now I understand. She probably was saying, you lucky you didn't get hung up from a tree or shot. Now I understand. Narrative is giving me a lens of remembering. And their technique is to look at who blacks are to the United States and who the United States are to us. Then we go as far as to look at who we are to each other. Beautiful framework. I've learned so much about not just us, but everybody else too. I'm learning about not everybody is like this. And I don't mean to be putting it out here like everybody's like this. If you have to listen to something and get offended by it when it's not meant to be offensive, then you actually you're missing the whole frequency. The whole frequency. There is so much going on that people want to ignore and not be accountable for. There are behaviors that different groups of people have started to pick up and regurgitate. I am tired of being part of a people that refuses to unite even on a basic level. God forbid on a political level. Actually make a party and do something. It's hard to watch. I can't imagine how it looked from others' views watching me live my life up until this point. I can't imagine. It had to be painful to watch. But I think that my scholarship was definitely on purpose. I feel like it is giving me tools and a different perspective that I can actually use in my everyday life. And I have the past, see, I think I got my scholarship in June and it's February. So I took that framework and I applied it to myself. I said, okay, who am I to myself? Who am I to others? What who are others to me and my family? And I can't keep anything negative. That is like the unspoken rule. No resistance, no negativity. Only empathy, support, objectiveness, peace, and love. Anything on another frequency has got to go. Some of us have lives where you have to wipe the whole slate. You have to literally wipe everyone off the slate. Then you're left with what? Just you. Just me. So I'm trying to continue this form of reconstruction that we never had. I'm going to do this from my bloodlines. The type of reconstruction that we never, our families went through so much trauma and it was never corrected. The behavior never changed. The core belief of the behavior never changed. This is where I have to stop and give appreciation for my changed behavior and my changed thinking and my growth. I'm so appreciative to even be in this place of time in my mind right now when everyone seems to be losing it. And rightfully so. You cannot be part of something this disastrous and it's big and it's huge and be a player, an actual player in it and not know if you're on the good side or if you're on the bad side. Who am I to this nation? Who am I to these communities out here that I've been a part of? What have these communities, these churches, these schools, these people, who have I been to them and who have they been to me? Was all my experience based on them and my true self? See, I want to get the pieces that matter and benefit me the most. And I want to realign them correctly. I want to be able to, when someone asks me, what are your strengths? I don't want to say being a survivor. Why do we all have to have this story? Why is that? I want to send a special piece of love to all the parents out there that are breaking chains and changing cycles with the right tools as per the truth. My adopted mother could have done the same for me, but she was robbed of that opportunity. Me being a secret like that actually affected me. So remembering, taking the pieces of me being strong, taking the pieces of me, even realizing that I came here with abandonment issues. As soon as I arrived, I probably had them in the womb. My mom possibly could have checked out mentally with me in her room. I mean, some moments I sit and think, and for some reason, even without having a real dialogue about this with her, the time that I got here, with the time that I had with her, is my answer. Something was off. Something was off. And I beat myself up for it. I thought it was me. I always blame myself for everything. I never understood anything until now. And it's really sad that I did that. But I want to use this book to save my life, to be honest. I want to remember through my own lens who these people actually were to me and who I became because of that, so that I can really shed that skin and realign with my true inner being, which I'm doing that right now, daily, every morning, every evening, every night. I had a little, it wasn't even little, I had a really big trigger yesterday. I took so much from so many at times when I really needed someone to help me fight. And the fact that I only had myself, I just let people get away with, I'm going to repeat it like it was said to me. I let people get away with murder. They murdered parts of me in real time. I didn't fight. I didn't respond. I took the blows. I ate them. And I kept going. And it's a good thing and a bad thing. It was a good thing then because I didn't have to use any of my energy that I did not have to deal with the situation. When I tell you, I slept a whole year in here because I've been running for my life since I got here. Literally. I was homeless for years. Somebody gave me a date rape drug in one state. Listen, it's so much. You would be like, girl, who goes through all of that? And you know what? A lot of people use religion and they say, oh, she's going through that because she's just bad. She was born a demon. She's just bad. No, you want to know why I went through all that I went through? I was never where I was supposed to be. I was never where I was supposed to be. People told that my mom don't adopt me. They said that. Like her own family said, don't you do this. Are you crazy? So this is why months back I was like, okay, so if a person has a journey and a purpose, does it change because they're adopted? Now I'm actually living this out now in real time. So I'm not really sure. No, actually I am sure. I have the answer. My purpose is connected to my inner being. And I learned things, patterns, behaviors that are not helpful for anyone to be a balanced person. So it takes work. First, it takes common sense to know that you have a problem. You have something that needs to be aligned. Like, how do you know? You're uncomfortable. Nothing works right. You're not around the right people. I have been in New York for 4 years, and I can't tell you how much support that I have from complete strangers. And I know that is for a purpose, for me to understand the universe is amazing. It's amazing. People are thinking I'm going through what I went through as punishment. No, I went through what I went through to sever these people. Just think, when I got married, bless his heart, why did I get married? I didn't know who I was. I only met my birth mom. There was a huge secret still. I was raised in a home where I was told I didn't have feelings. I was struck all the time in the 90s. I was looking to get married to get saved. It's childish. Yes, it is. I was young. Oh my God, I was a freaking teenager. I didn't know any better. And my mom was probably happy to get rid of me. She was old. She was like 80 something, all the way in the end of the 80s. She's probably like, thank you, Jesus. A man took her. Ain't got to worry no more. I wasn't taught to be a wife. I was taught that I taught myself how to take care of myself. I wasn't thinking about planning a business. Um, I wasn't thinking about anything but getting away. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I attracted what I deserved. Now his decisions that he made, that's his cross. I have nothing to do with that. I've never understood the concept of men stating, someone's keeping a child from them. I don't know if he said this or not. Don't even matter. But I know it's said a lot, and I do believe there's like fucking millions of people here. Of course, somebody does that. That's not every case. It's not every case. People do what they want. People do what they want to do. The fact that I decided to write this book has definitely changed my frequency. I'm starting to understand that now I need to really not shut myself off, but I have to discipline myself, because what I will do is sit in the other type of Eurocentric way of remembering. Think back and remember. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't even have to do that. Everything that happened to me is a part of me. Everything. It's a part of me. So remembering isn't the issue. Rearranging and realigning my inner being. That is my goal. And this is why I know this book is going to take a little longer, because I have to write this book from a place of power. And I'm still new to this power. I'm still new to the confirmation of who I am. I'm still going through realizations. Certain things are sticking out in my head. People have came to me in dreams, and I'm like, well, why would this person come to me? Of all people, like, what was he doing in my dream? He doesn't know me. Like Tupac, seriously, I'm not even gonna say it anymore. I'm trying not to talk about it anymore, but I'll just say I have dreams with people sitting down with me in chairs as if like we're on a first name basis, encouraging me and telling me things in my dreams. And this has been happening since I was a child. So it's not like I could just live through my life and not feel off. Like I felt off for a long time. It was like I was Sleeping Beauty or something. Like I was in a, it just I can't even explain it because now there's a different feeling that I have now, and I never had it before. I don't know what it is. I have no clue what it is. I'm drinking. I don't have coffee this morning. Grand Rising. I'm rambling on and on, but this is so important to me. Because honestly, I've had so many miserable days here. I really, really want to be happy. I want to be balanced. I want to be realigned. I want to remember the parts of my life that I actually am super proud of. I can say I went through hell, but I can also say I got through hell, walked right through it. So I want to talk, I want to learn to talk, think, and be from a point of alignment at all times. When I get like that, I'll probably be a monk or something. Who knows? I don't know how this goes. I never even knew this type of world existed. All I knew was drama after drama after trauma after drama after trauma for 4 freaking decades and 9 months. That's all I really know. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. And I'm grateful for all of these experiences and I appreciate all of these experiences because now each step moving forward, they will be different than what I've done before. Because I already know the results. That's my stomach. I am hungry. And I should because I think I fasted. I got upset yesterday. Our people say things, and this ain't got nothing to do with Whoopi. But I notice our people say things that, how can I say this? It carries over into this bigger scheme of things. And it's so detrimental. Like, I live on a reservation. Do you know that? Do you know that? You don't get to be prisoners of war and then get to say you don't depend on this place. Because if you're not making your own food and making your own electricity, we're all dependent on the United States government, one way, form, or fashion. And I don't know if it's because of the miseducation here of what's going on, but we have started becoming detrimental to each other. I ain't even gonna say started. We have been detrimental to each other for too fucking long. Excuse my French, but I'm serious. For a person like me, I'm super bruised and I'm raw. I'm super bruised and I'm raw. Give me a second. I'm sorry. Grand Rising is 6:34 a.m. Oh my goodness. I got on here at 5:55. Actually, I think I started a little earlier this morning. Happy Wednesday. This is a real process. Y'all have to forgive me. I had to get me a Nutri-Grain bar because I fasted last night until just now. And actually, I had a turmeric tea before I ate that. Empathy. Empathy is important. And I'm learning to give myself that. Understanding what I've been through, understanding everything I faced, whether I had a crowd, whether I or did it alone. Having empathy, understanding the process is needed to remember my inner being, realign it, realign it. I have to show my daughter how to do this as well. She went through a lot. We went through a lot to get where we are. We went through a lot just to be, to exist. It's actually unimaginable. But it is what it is. And we're stronger and we honor each other a lot more for it. I'm even taking steps of removing some people from my accounts, from my life, simply because it's time for me to grow. It's time for me to grow past what these people have to offer. It is 6:36 a.m. Wednesday, February the 2nd, 2022. Oh my goodness, happy hump day. It seemed like it was just Wednesday already, and it's Wednesday again. I am about to cook some breakfast. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm about to get in this kitchen and cook and do more writing. I'm trying to start another broadcast on, I want to say, Sundays, breaking down type 1 diabetes and all of the issues that come along with that in the community, in the school, at home, on the job. It plays a big part in every decision we make in our life every day. One of the main reasons I came and did what I did, because I did not want my daughter to be living place to place, not having anything with her insulin. It has to stay in the refrigerator 24/7. So it's a lot. And I want to start sharing more about our process of enduring juvenile diabetes 24/7, 365 days a year. So I'm in the process of forming that. There was something else I'm supposed to be working on. I actually got me a notebook and I'm making plans. 1988 was the year my adopted mom decided to leave Philadelphia since my adopted dad had passed. Her decision to adopt me had finally sparked something in her. She was warned. She was warned not to adopt me. She knew she was too old. That's just a little excerpt because I'm nowhere near a formed book yet, but I have parts. So I'm pushing for soon. Those parts will actually add up to my first draft, and then I'm going to write another draft because just like the way that was written, I actually ad-libbed it a little bit. So it definitely needs to be worked on. It's going to be a long process. I'm trying to stay sane through this process. I'm trying not for the book to be trauma porn because that's what I just lived. I just lived a trauma porn. So I need people to be a little gentler with me, or we're going to bump heads because I have to defend every step or decision that I had to make, being in all of these damn uncompromisable positions. Breathe, chill. Now, Voquisha came out a little bit. I had to put her back. I'm sorry. So January to June, I want to form my first draft. Between January and June, I plan to create one product. Between January and June, we've already done the weekly podcast. I did that already. And where's my pen? I want to start between January and June. Listen, I won't be like, I'm going to do this next week because anything can come up in my life the night before or the moment before, and I can't do it. So I said, okay, there's no way that just because my life is built around caregiving, not being a parent, because parents can go to work and do whatever they got to do. I keep telling people there's a difference between a parent and a caregiver. So how am I both? How? I'm required to be in her presence for 24 hours with this medicine. That's all day, every day. God forbid she gets depressed and suicidal. I can't leave her with the medicine. She needs the medicine to live. I don't know any parent that doesn't have the capability of leaving their child and going on and leaving. I see them do it all the time. But those people have support. You can't be a parent and an employee without support. Either daycare or family members caring for the child when you're not there. So I don't have a not there. I don't have a legal not there. Unless I had another parent that was supportive or some family members that were supportive and involved with her care so they could do what I do and be what she needs from them. So I want to definitely, between January and June, well, we're going to do February and June for this because it's February. I started that, put a check there. I already started my first draft, put a check there. The product, I'm going to put a line under that. February to June. Type 1 talk. One time a week. Preferably, I'm going to say a Sunday as I look through my numbers. If it needs to change to another day, I will adjust it. Oh my goodness, I did an hour. I was only pushing for 30 minutes, but this is how I get when I get to talking and I'm really passionate about something. I made this space to be able to broadcast to the whole world the art of remembering who you are. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing to reconnect yourself with your true self. I don't know why this place is so dishonest about who we are. It's very hard for me to live through this, but I am. I want to send love to all of my families here and going on. Special, special love to my sister and my niece. Sending love to my other niece. Oh, we're going through something with her. Please lift her name up and light and love. Just say the niece that needs some help. I don't want to put her name out there. Fingers crossed for her. She know Auntie loves her. Things happen so fast. please, please remember to be safe. Again, Grand Rising. Have a beautiful day. A beautiful day. This is the space where I come to work out my process of remembering through my music, through my tracks. Special shout out to Stop Looking Entertainment. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope all is well. And if it is not, I'm sending light and love to you. Stay strong and diligent. You're always welcome here. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your likes, your comments. Everything matters. We all are out here taking one day at a time. It's some terrible times. Please be safe. Be safe. I can't stress this enough. I saw so many shootings yesterday. School, officers. A young man here got killed on 125th. I just really hope we as individuals can really realign ourselves, our inner beings, and really get some balance so we can see some balance out here in real time. Again, please stay safe and definitely be aware. And I love you.